da sani. Yeah, two for said that. Yes, I do. Yes, I do, cry. Asoma adiasa asantia yebio na bibi na akotiba yira homa mo munyai asantia yebi pa kuro ne frɛ ne Ghana ne de asantia yebi bani se de okonso ne ba hina de se bia onim pani nsɛm na kanya asantia nka de abrofo de ye yakura nka bi ni munyai de kanya asante pa nka de abrofo de ye nka bi ni the only pillar, the only block against the British invasion. Nano kran born of 1844. Say enye before no abi Ghana for no ene modern Ghana for no abi ene koka broni ho nanka broni be de timi defeat asante. Munya botre. And there's no single history and the chance asantini e de obi ko slavery mu say wo de obi ko okodi obi so da bi ye kuni eduru ho na wo ya so de ne ya twenwa be kan ho ye defeat no be kan ho na wo ye busua enti na besi ne dagoma fo kan ho dagoma fo ya santefo omo ye nuanom ye kontoko ba bia ibeduru bia no ye no be kono wo be ka ho ahanta ba bia be fa bia akuapem ba bia be ko bia be ko dia ko bia no ye do be ka ho asanteni ye ni obi aso se wo ye nakoa. No, there's no single history on this land. Asante ayebi o. Asante ayebi pa. Na eduru ba bia amanyosem aba be sey asante papa asante amanyosem aba sey enu ntina ama ne mpuntu ananka asante be ye ebisa sa wo hwe na no mpani nsem a sade na asante won the systems ena sa kasa systems so ha anka yekọ fi se oman bia be chichi bia wo bedi ka tutu nua ndunsini ne adua no wa prekwem eti asante unification ba ye na asante aka bom na afe no na ye agi ho ntere ha no kasabre ekedim punto development structures bebre na aba so pese o tia se ye akohwe sede asafo bantema edum sitie kasambre ye kokora amanyosema be ha ye amanyosema be house abeha abibifo ne asantefo amanne amanyosema wura politics no abewura ye nananu mu atie wura ye mu vise du ba bi na adidija ya se me ka bibi na akere mu adidija ya amanyosema na abeha ye papa nkenya saa sedi asante esi kunto kwa jin ekika kuro bebre bom no kasambre kayeko kra so eti ebesere na adom ahene se ye ene ya wada ya ne ye kaye ya se yentu mponko denko yanim ese ka yetumi atu mponko yanim se nya amanyosem na aba we be ko aba we be ba kasante kayeko kra abeta akwa ba ama ure mama doma na adom ahene nyum kakra na adom ahene mambo nyum nanso amfa ye hu mesi obini yamwa nanka santia hini yagua obini yamwa nanka santia protete nanso na nanya media onti said na doma hene na nanya media onti said doma hene ye tumfu ansedo kra Yeah, one said those cry. Yeah, one said say yeah. Yeah, one said cry. Yeah, yes, I say, you to us, not my any more fun. Aye. Not my any more fun, or more fun. Not my any more fun, or more fun. So, I told her now, Manabu Trezon. I told her no Manabu Tre. Is a day I offer no. A day I offer no. I was therefore what I to us way. Now, dear mammy, because me per se, and the young she say, Sabi, and ye obines more being developed Ghana. Now, two for some ya near cano, Santahina Samaya cano, Sante, Dinia Santahine, Ayabia Magana. A Winimukrano, Mammy Fassi Wincher was a young chassis in free. I say, Mammy the Canfa president. No, what do I mean, Kofa Papa Jimra? Mammy Papa J. Where your Papa J on Tiasama or Kafa Santahino? Pachodity, Tiasama or Kafa Santahino. Nine to us.
Papa Modi, I'm a Santifo. I'm a Ghana for. I'm a Yagmianum Gabon for. To have gone as far as you did, the sleepless nights and all the time you spent assisting our government. I think I should also use the occasion to say a big thank you on behalf of our people, and especially the Gabon people, for the effort the president has also put in. He's brought about peace to that. Now we started talking to the IMF, and they were stalling the.
Even former presidents are Abaninano. Asantefoɔ nkabom ne wonom ehinempɔn otumfoɔ santehene emwa amanyofo atwam nyina no adanse a wo die anokremu na domahene you come match, you don't get closer. Domahene doesn't get closer to when it comes to sensitive issues in this country. Ntia there na o pretending na otumfoɔ no the private jet him no akoto die. That's not the matter of the case. From Sabi, I mean, young fat, my gratitude kakra. And your problem at Ghana, me see politics near you know, and a cause problem. Politics now cause problem. Now, Rollins the no, yentie former President Mahama so as some work for
and extending the discussions, negotiations. I mean, after they finish meetings, it's okay, and then they give you another day to meet about a month away. It was critical to get this program locked in as quickly as possible. So one day, one of my frustrations, I was in Kumasi and I went to see him, and he asked me how things were going, and then I explained to him what was going on, you know. And then I remembered that, you know, he had quite some good friends in high places, you know. So I said, can you intervene in this thing? I know Jim Wilson is your friend. Can you, you know, get him to speed up these negotiations for a program for us? And he readily accepted. And because of that request, he got ready. He called Jim Wilson. He took a flight. He flew, met him. They went together to Washington. And Jim Wilson took him to, at that time, the IMF director was Madame Lagarde. Yeah. And they went and saw her. And after the meeting, in a short space of time, things changed. And then suddenly, we had the extended credit facility, the ECF. That is the program that turned the economy around, you know.
But just out here, if we end this in up, wow, President John Dramani Mahama are testifying, say, based on the government, no, Otumfuo's influence, a buanum, a 10 economy, ni man, no, mammy, no, yet na Ghana and Mudia. I mean, and yet, Chinchina say, Otumfuo ni be my Ghana. Asante yes, we be my Ghana for. Why? In Yabotre, ye development and on ensem bebre wom enema bebre wo development nim obi nka se dodo o ma wo we expect more from ahemfo ye benya na nkoma ye more eno de obia ne wo be ka se ma ye nyamo ne mum de obia ye no ya monkai John Dramani Mahama, former president, and the Wakano, if not to force influence, Nanka was a Kanye Manye. Otu for ye, I am from the so Mukojis can be said the NS woman, the Omodi, and a Monkubisa woman. That's Mahama on Yintiana.
I'm proud that under that program in 2016, almost for the first time in our history, we did zero central bank financing of the budget. We didn't take one single cedi, from the central bank, and then we handed over, to the new administration. So as for Otumfuo, I could say so many things about him. Of course, you've talked of thank you very much for the honor that you've done the king.
I'm sure God will continue to bless you and fulfill you. I wish you well.
Right, and so that was also President Kufuor, but I mean, Kofawe, President Kufuor, one also asema Okafa, Otumfuo on the Otumfuo Yamano, Yenti ni, I thought that Yenina and Yebenya, Nanka Ghana, no, developing a certain level, but the government structure never Ghana, no. Sometimes we blame one in ye, and two, they also have, I see you push you on more, but in order so we catch them say, Otumfuo nye bibia ma Ghana no, I disagree with you. You can also disagree with me, and you can tell me the SO was to Otumfuo. Na me intro do Otumfuo so why? And one, in fact, your own presidents, former presidents are telling you something. So te here, Milan nyabotre, Milan layo, Milan nyabotre. Oponti la na no shi nyabotre. Yenti Kufuor.
President, like Hipik, I should say I be Ghana, so the Jessica Samunga, Yakuku, the last minute, like I say, but I'm Kophobia. But the chairman so Yako. Last minute, when your message say, hey, Hipik knows where you know, I think the PMO, World Bank, near IMF for what? Yeah, somewhere above. But you know, hey, when you're mending. My year, Ben, no come inside, you say, you have to trust Casimir. Nanaso Bakwambe of the Kami. Nadia Yamusaben. Now, it's a sort of day, and the job in Necro. There will be a sequence and no young Najabi. Timothy, I made Jimmy Kwamben the first one. Coco or Castle could be open and Najabi. Hey, nothing. Come to make 12 to 4 near the Names on this room and one was as I'm so. What I say, I'm a dear money. Say, Oka, so catching. The can be of the first woman. Welcome, President. Welcome, the Kure woman. As I say, I said, the Abra could do the entry of money. Say, with the channel, catching the Jabin. Send another Jabin or free office. As someone said, they must see a profile. That's a view. One also soon with the Fupa. One tell me, I can so be quite good Americans on it. Open so I can say. The film office animal of Fafu. I quite a pot of master. Let me know. Oh, I need a viva telephone call. Nana, looking for a phone. Wafana, Sammy, and I jam can. Some on that. Offense and so on in no. And to the phone, my offense. I'm passing natural, Mr. Offense. I'm paraphrasing, all right. I don't need a different epic. Show me the answer. I didn't have an answer woman. Indeed, I didn't so to me phone. Yami, number.
Right, so that was ex-President Kufuor. I want to the testimony about Otumfuo's influence in the country. Now, the Jinaso Monosono, Namamu Eku Yeman, based on as a president. And anytime these people will come, they will tell you they are the first gentleman of the land. And you can't take it from them. In fact, when they come to economic management and stabilization of the country and whatever, it's in their hands. So when they tell you, say, Otumfuo's influence, I mean, Yamana Mitinchaya, Mekasa. In fact, there's a war in the country, and Kasamri, Minu Nanki, Niha, Tidia Mekano. if said there was a there's and can talk kwasi woman anymore, and we are not here to say this. It is will be catch or say crisisaminya ye onipa we na bu ama yet me solve it for the whole country. I mean it's a good to say ye be many pana who said the honest why be so honest why do bet me. And now do my you don't match that. That don't deceive yourself. You don't match that. Inti eso who say and create what time and create what time. So what I say, men create what time na yem for time na chichiri kuru. Now, yes, me pasa ebi ano fe no obi aba na yentie bio sade yentie 1996 ebra domane ebono ahemfofo no ba ebe hia na apoku ware no yentie.
Original jurisdiction was in Quran from the sea of but yet, that gave in fact, found the sea. And the second thing, yes, there are no more than 4 million. And after 4 years statement, and social union, social media, again, say, well, I have one say, I'm not going to go one. Yamana, I thought so we are for it is there. Woman to me said, yeah, my room. Yeah, my room. I'll see somebody. Like a baby, you said, you know, if you were one of compromise. The compromise.
And some information we are about one thing, video, yeah, made it to one thing. On say, and Kruma by, you know, I'll be say, Yenny Western Asante influence and critics are bono. Any half no yado na ya asante nkunya no esi enkroma konso ne boy hina kwa enkroma ye bipa ante to da amanfo se asante fo ne enkroma e wo problem da bi so ni problem but e fa na mamre ni amanie mu no ahenie mu no enkroma ba ye no sade be ye na nkono betimi anya na mamuo yie no enkroma e ma ahenie bebre no ensam no ko ye bibie wo in fact historians bebre nim kwa enkroma kwanya ofa so a wodi ebrebra hini bebrase nti even bro afukra no ebra omo ye create ye no wo mo enkroma mankro original house of chiefs nachi ebobo ahini bi ebrebra nkonya bi ase ani nyina sampani nsam no di enkroma papa ya wa ye nti ya nimpanifo bebre mpese wo no beka fi say e de ya enkroma ye bi ma Ghana wa ye bia ma Ghana pa so na wo ko hwe mpani nsam na utie uhwe history na wo na hwe ekwanya enkroma de ahini ye fa so na say ohun sa ahenie no so wan break wan bubu bia pre a ontimi nya ne president no sa ne mani nyina no ebe haye yamamre ne yamane dia meken tia ha mami sho ade enkyere wa sei sa asem we ya bi ko hete eye ofuripani wache hene a odi kan wotosu no meba emse mensaka sa de hwe during the 1950s 58 more Enkroma independence by children here tie we ofuripani otosu no wache hene tia asem kan.
Can you tell me what it is that Dr. Nkrumah's government has against you?
Well, I really don't know. I've done practically nothing against the government. And it was a shock and surprise to me and my state for announcing that my statutory recognition has been revoked.
Can you tell me what legal authority you still possess as a paramount chief?
Well, from time immemorial, I exercise all powers in deciding minor criminal cases, land cases, and other party complaints.
Nana, do you feel that the traditional chieftaincies can survive for very long alongside modern parliamentary institutions?
Certainly. Parliamentary democracy and monarchy are not opposed. Some of the oldest and best democracy in Europe governed by monarchy.
What do you think of Dr. Nkrumah's government?
Well, it's been revoked.
Can you tell me what legal authority you still possess as a paramount chief?
The Sautia, even early 1960s, 50s, 60s, Wakrano. Ochehene otosumiro for penny. One crano on say Bruni classified as paramount chiefs, but there was nowhere in the Asante and na Bruni or something is why paramount chief. So just say video away and you know tie de make no video awe yenye ne so there was nowhere on the meeting there was nowhere but that time even broni nu kwa wo interview eye wo chehene chebi hene so or refer as paramount chief say or susu say enkroma ya de bia tia no agye ne tumi afiri so as paramount chief ana o ti ase endi ya na dom ahene kotena na we ye ede tumi mrabe na ogina so de kasa asem na kire wo we 1950 yeah 58 system one asem na me bo kire we so I mean I think say na dom ahene obenya abotre na wajai enema bi a wo ye no yeah what they tie wahene no tie chebi hene no tie no.
Well, from time immemorial I exercise all power in deciding minor criminal cases, land cases, and other party complaints.
Nana, do you feel that the traditional chieftaincies can survive for very long alongside modern parliamentary institutions?
Certainly. Parliamentary democracy and monarchy are not opposed. Some of the oldest and best democracies in Europe governed by monarchy.
What do you think of Dr. Nkrumah's government?
Well, I cannot say. Because...
Can you tell me what it is that Dr. Nkrumah's government...
Right, and so... Where archives videos were during the 1950s and 60s coming up and how na ahini na Nkrumah ba problems biya kakra bi o create e wo the chieftaincy mu ahini emu doma ene na doma ahini ne wo fa odi kan ene techima ahina odi kan no nyina be yes a problem no nti so hu se na doma ahini ye niema bia abakosem bi no person repeat no ba hu se yamfani hane nko aprenkensi mafie ena de onum to ne de gina twere no ano nti say ye probi na gina Ghana no now as wabeka asem bia sabe na do mahene I mean anya de a obetimi amachi wotumfo asante hene wo any other way emo obi anada una obi a no just bia wo time bi masante e normal wo time asante e normal ene de impanise wosen yonko ota enye problem me wo na ka so time kra me try to me cheche munyama bi wo kire wo say I mean ehu hia because won twin sasare so o time na wo time ye wo de ti wo mu entimi sasa de asante edibre so na se Ghana develop ya enya asantefo nya asante na Ghana asantefo kra ma Ghana develop more e chen wo mo makeka ka ne nsemu na amanfo bi de no dize se ye hwa asantefo input e wo Ghana no a I mean ni sana do mahini for nkrofobia o ma develop cha asantefo mi TV mo bi di ni ntie mi hu obi a obata na do mahini ho a wono se wo develop cha asante ni bia obata otumfo ho mi hu bi etisa wotena sana ofa ya wa ofa taya mi hu dia opa kire ezi ayete ye fa kumase ye fa do ma esikafo ho kumase do a chance kafo ho do ma enti what is the logic what you say ena mi hu obi asa na do mahina ya ade bi nwanwaso a echen wotumfo say eniema wotumfo aye ne Ghana ne ama no ne ana say other countries na do mahina ntimi mi hu ade bi a waye I mean enti just be a we person wota eye normal so beta santini ende I mean your choice ba so America untimi nsesa no ena nye asantefo na ama Ghana aye de aye no munkobu sa amanyofo no mose magia tum se mu bedi bro ni nhye so monkope mumpe you pay the price we ya see agia tum se bedi bro ni nhye so a afa de ebuei ya ye beso ye fiasem me de me wo mfiasem ameka ba me yen me nsimi ntom agofin wa abonten etibia obi tiba bi na asante hene na asante hene kase wo ye say ukrom hene koka kire ndi wono so nye on me tell ka kire ukrom hene no so nya de o so wo ye ne hwe ukrom hene ye fa ye nyina betu Africa kumase akotana wa me ahwe adana waja ukrom hene na asante hene na kana samsa sesi aye kan na ukrom ayefe ye nyina be fo ye baagi o ni aba ukrom ho adana wo de anya fe kire wo so ukrom hene se wo se asante hene nya hwe ukrom hene de kun eti we have a problem to solve but not to say so person kire say wo de nye he na niam asante hene aye ni asantefo aye no wo ka ho bi oben ho this a naked truth untimi nya ho we fa ukrom asikafo ne yemfa asantefo mu yesikafo ne yenhwe Usu ukrom aye fe no ye de tutu ba bia e Kumase no ahe be de na ukrom kura duru Kumase. Enti sa niema we no we ababu na tiase e wo mu se nyina ye pre development more development, but that does not mean sa wuja ukrom hene ukrom ho de enye no na ba ka Kumase asem se ye de yes na wo de unya ukrom yi ene migration ukrom e fa ye beba ho obi abetu abetena obi ni ahwe so mbetimi akontenia ba Kumase akonteni nipa bia bifri ba bia bi Kumase akonteni obi bi wokro no Mama ya sonko didi why na munya abotre. Yeah, Evans Kofi, yeah, we can debate on development issues in Ashanti region at large, but not to insult and include others, which is dangerous. That's it. I like the message. We can debate on development. We can check the entire Yempeni Fonti means speedy development. We can check that. And only here check here. And now we are we are facing the fact. We will check the political discourse. We will check the decision makers. We will check political strategy, Europeans' influence. Okas of it now you can't some say. It say, won't mean check us animal now to me you need development. Now say Asante Fuo na ama Ghana ye de we yes we tibon koso. Umpeso be munu nyansa. And you can't hate Otunfuo with that so we just Asante Fuo. Otunfuo represent Asante Fuo. What they make ya say? Nti won't mean now ukrom hene. Now say obeka Otunfuo asem say Otunfuo develop Kumase. Now ukrom efeche Kumase. Mi busa say nti Kumase apratete doma ahin kro ne doma akru na ankasa no emi fa na eduru Kumase ana yenim doma na ana me yenim doma na dabi munya de mo chechere no na Kumase fo kra do mutimu asempa wo Kumase fo ye yahemfo no ye kra yetimu asempa because hwe input pa ni resource free Kumase pia fra santima mu pie na yan yire politician bare yan no mo nko se dabi mu be Kumase ya mo na Asantefo asese o mo jama Ghana amanyofo ye de o mo ye no na nka ese bre bi sa Asantefo no ye mo ni bre na o mo politician ba ye che o ma wo ye Kumase wo ye Asantefo by force but because of politics onso o mo nye munya Asantefo atena se ama niam afọ mo asentia to mesra mo ye mo me face fact na ye mfa otan ne ahoye a enkeka nsem basabasa why Otunfuo onye Ghana tax why mesra ho o yes apɛ na we are ignorant Otunfuo onye Ghana tax yentie anyum kakra bi ne ensa nto aso mo na do wahene kakra.
Yes, Ed Sheeran with a song he composed in Ghana. He sang this when he came back to the UK. Fawakuma mommy, yeah, adore you, eh. Come away with me, darling, we can watch the sunrise. Fawakuma mommy, yeah, adore you, eh. Come make we fall in love under African skies. Been away, been a while. Hey, mama, been away. Hey, mama.
Milan said was every Asante citizens supposed to have a good life. But omo kan do omunya nipa na esrem fante ngona ado Milan omo do omunya so benya good life. Milan o point to the Asante I say every Asante citizen now one Asante ni bia wo so say esrem ni mama na aduane ni ana say angona ni we dem de ka asam keke wo Milan ade one Asante ni a ofre angona ni fante ni bununi ana say akuapimi ni say o mama na aduane ni ana ya munyai sa Milan Asantini bia no a wo sere aduane wo bi hodi o me kan okra na ha kire ani me Asantini no e lazy dia I'm fine it is Asantefo here good life ada baby an wo kan free no wo so de ne so mo hia they also need something and Ghana ye check baby o hia wa enya Asante a o check baby a hia fo wa Asante nka ho enti eno na esa mo hwe na mo kan. Was it a free education and healthcare for the Asantes? Oh, that be now. Say I want with work production by free education. They say I buy na ye open na okoye. Asante for grounds on party free sao. And I want Asante for party free sao. Na country be na say say na free the mobile. Say free say. Right. Enti yan to aso free say. Now, yenko one fee na yenko tie a serum ketia so yentia serum ketia.
That look, I am aware that since the inception of this Fourth Republic, there is no president who has not benefited from the advice of Otumfuo. I'm aware that President Jerry John Rawlings benefited from the advice of Otumfuo. I'm aware that President Kufuor benefited immensely from the advice of Otumfuo. And I'm equally aware that President Mills and President Mahama both benefited immensely from the advice of Otumfuo.
Okay.
And I'm aware that Otumfuo has given series of advice to the sitting president, Nana Akufo-Addo. Whether he accepts them or rejects them is his own business.
Okay. Right. See, you can't hide it. So you can't hide it.
Look.
You can't hide it, to be frank. You can't hide it. So the influence of Asante Hene, Wayebi, Akadiaka, and the Etiasi, Akadiaka. So Akadiaka. But to say, oh, now we'll be matching with Domahine. Ah, now what is Domahine's input in Ghana? What an input here, day. Munkan Doma, oh dear. Comment Milan, tell me Domahine input as compared to Asante Hene to see any area. We want to hear Milan. I'm waiting for you. Milan, Milan Lion, my lion, me pacho. Tell me Domahine, Najuma Bedu, tell me the input to see. What I say? Tell me the input as compared to Otumfuo and CCA. So I saw no your mind, no Otumfuo your mind, and now we are going to match them with importance near Radi. Jack, Munyaisa. Milan say, we want Asante to be on top of the world. Asante cannot be on top of the world. First, the fact, the reason is and after colonization, the political system are destroyed. The system before that, that's what I say. Asante cannot be on top. The influence and political damage also Asante cannot be on top of anywhere. That's why Asante 4 try their best to promote, to brand themselves. So in fact, in Ghana, Asante 4 cannot say because a chinchina politician we may develop Kumasi. It's an possible. Government structure no and your company na yen chiche to me yenya decentralized system to say federal state ni yenya state yenya a state in federal government then you will see what you say. Well, your political structure and that some person yen discuss here. There's a lot of things that we need to discuss. Political structure now a best speedy of development no you're confusing. The a project corrupt leadership. Say your person there no come yen can no asem on the tiano. But when you want to downplay traditions and culture, say your person ye Asante 4 mama amambre ni amania ye fe wo Ghana no. O person o ka bibia ye ntiase da bi. Eno de ye ntiase mani nsida. O tiase. Bi say Asante na ama amambre ni amania ya akono besine obi o number bibia hu akwaba Ghana Asante eye Asante 4 na project ye ya culture ade ba ko ba ka ye nsam no. And the style of government now ye pro ye and Ghana ne de ye so ye development ye and in fact check the whole continent Africa. Do you think Broni ye kwase ya on ono no krom odika develop ni krom ansa and odi system no brewo o ka say ye this democracy ni develop UK on mo amuti abrochire no o ka say democracy no and ye develop London on we are funny, we are joking ourselves, we are taking ourselves in yesterday. And so when we want to face the fact and face the entire young team developer, the young people must be intelligent enough to sit down and say, how do we develop? You can't develop without structures. And check Ghanaian system developmental structures. Omaya wuni national policy. Just check the countries now. They have a system, they have a structures. And only they develop. But I say, Asante sorry, I'm going to develop Ghana. I'm going to favoritism now. I'm going to different things to get two things together. Auntie, Mesra say, if we want one state to another. Now we are talking about say, yep, obi person or day amamrani amania who can be tribo. I don't know. When it comes to development.